I'm Cherry. C.I.T.Y, C-I-T-Y stands for Can I Teach You? Can I Teach You English has two meanings. One meaning is may I? Do I have your permission to teach you English? So, can I teach you English? The second meaning is ability. Do I have the ability to teach you English? So, can I teach you English? Today, I wanted to talk about why I recommend a specific speech recognition app for my students when they're practicing their pronunciation. Sometimes my students, I will recommend Google Translate, and my students have another app that they often use. And so I wanted to show you one of the reasons why I specifically like this app. So first of all, as we know in English, English speakers use linking sounds. So for example, when I'm speaking as a teacher, I would say, I'm getting kind of angry, or I'm kind of getting angry. But when I'm speaking naturally with my friends, I'm getting kind of angry. I'm kind of getting angry. Because Google Translate is Google, it has a larger database. So it understands more words and it hears my linking. When I give my students the recommendation to use this to practice their pronunciation, the one thing that I don't like that is a benefit is that it hears my mistakes and tries to guess what I wanted to say. So sometimes my students make pronunciation mistakes and it will still give them the right answer because it has guessed what they're trying to say. So I want to show you, I believe strongly that I have very good pronunciation. Part of the reason I have this specific or this particular kind of pronunciation is when I was a child, I had a lisp. So I said everything like this. So I had to do speech therapy. And because of just my parents and my personality, I have spoken this way since I was a child. And so in high school and college, I did radio and television broadcast. So my pronunciation is not typical. My pronunciation is very, it's not average pronunciation. So I think I have pretty good pronunciation. So let's try Google Translate first. And I'm going to make it larger just so you can see. Okay. I'm getting kind of angry. I'm kind of getting angry. Okay. So that is my teacher pronunciation. Now I'm going to speak like a native speaker. I'm getting kind of angry. I'm kind of getting angry. Because of Google's database, it knows what I'm trying to say. Now, sometimes in my class, my students don't have Google Translate or they prefer another app. So I'm going to show you what happens with that one. I'm kind of getting angry. No problems. I'm getting kind of angry. No problems. I'm kind of getting angry. I'm getting kind of angry. Kind of getting. Kind of getting. Kind of getting. Okay. So you see the problem. The problem is that because Google Translate has gotten so much English and so many other languages from other countries, it has a better database. Now, here's the important thing to remember. This other application is actually better when it comes to written translation. What has happened is because the other app has so much input from Korea, it has better translation and it makes more natural Korean sentences or Korean into English. So at this point, when it comes to writing, I have no problems with it. It's gotten really good in the last couple of years. But when it comes to speech recognition, I have a couple of problems with it. So that's the first thing. That's the speech recognition, because what I recommend to my students is when they are home and they want to practice their pronunciation, they can't hear if they're making the right sound, and they don't have a native English speaker there to correct them. So normally what I will tell them is, depending on the speech sound that they're trying to make, to record themselves. So for example, P, F, B, and V. So we all know the tongue twister Peter Piper. So Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Fresh French fried fritters. That is not what I said. Let's try again. Fresh French fried fritters. Okay. If I'm enunciating, if I'm making the right sound, it hears me. So with simple, just straightforward pronunciation practice, I think they're pretty equal. So if you're just practicing the sound, so Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If you're only practicing a specific sound, I think it's okay. But when you are trying to speak like a natural English speaker, I think they separate. There is a second app that I want to talk about, or actually it's not an app, it's another component of this same company's English. And I was talking to a student and I was recommending that they practice pronunciation. And they opened up this app to show me their pronunciation practice. And I was playing with it last night and I was actually a little annoyed. Basically, what they can do is they can look up a word, and then when they look up the word, they hear the sound, and then they say the word into the app, and it will tell them if their pronunciation matches. So what happened was the student was saying the word, and I didn't hear it as being correct as a native English speaker, but the app was telling them that it was correct, and it was a little upsetting to me because I'm like, why? So I was playing with it last night, and what I realized is this particular function is not checking pronunciation. It's not checking sound or consonants. It's simply checking your intonation and your cadence. So it's checking to see if you are saying the sound in the right rhythm. So I decided to show you. We're going to use the word obsolete. Okay, so first it gives me the pronunciation.
Obsolete. Obsolete.
Then I have to practice. Obsolete. And it gave me an 88. So I got 88% on obsolete. Now, grab a D. I did not say a word. I said grab a D. That is not obsolete. And I got 80%, or I got a score of 80. Let's try one more time. Blah, blah, blee. Oh, this time I only got 50. But let's try again. Blah, blah, blee. This time I got 85. As you heard, at no point did I say ob, sa, or leet. I did not say any of the words, but the app is giving me a good score. So it's not checking to see if your pronunciation is right. It's checking to see if you're saying it in the right rhythm, the right cadence, if you're going up and down at the right moments. So if that is something that you are using to practice your pronunciation, I would recommend that you not use it to practice your pronunciation. I would recommend that instead you use the other function, which is the speech recognition function. And if you are talking to a native speaker and you want them to speak into your phone, I would recommend that you use Google Translate. So those are just my personal recommendations as a teacher. So thank you for watching. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.